It's my distinct pleasure, and has been for 18 years, to speak on behalf of our ownership group here. And whenever we spoke over those 18 years about our team, and there were lots of conversations, some controversy, the one thing that was enduring and the one thing that was simple and straightforward is that the class of the field is Jarome Iginla, and there was never any question about that in any way, shape, or form. It was a beautiful and a wonderful, wonderful thing. You're going to hear from a couple of his classmates in a minute. They've graduated to become big shot executives in the team, Craig and Marty, and that'll be fun. I wanted to save the fun for a little bit later. Sometimes teams attempt to define their culture. They'll set their culture. The ownership will set a culture. Management will set a culture, and then you'll hope that players will kind of fall in line or step into that. And in our case, for 16 years, Jarome set our culture. He was the epitome of our culture. He was, if you were trying to diagram it or talk to somebody or explain it, you could just say, just go talk to Jarome. Just follow Jarome and understand how you'll act in the community, how you'll act on the ice, how you'll be as a teammate, and it just works. My personal and best memory of Jarome in our conversations was always his positivity. And in those days, Jarome, and you'll remember, they weren't all perfect. But whenever we spoke with Jarome, he said, "No, Ken, I think we're just about right there." No matter where we were at the time, we were just around the corner, and we were going to break through. And he meant every word of it, and more importantly, he lived every word of it. It just made you feel good. And in this business, there's not always enough things that actually make you feel good, because it's a hamster wheel. It never stops. So thank you, Jarome, for your positivity and every aspect of that. I sat in my deck with Daryl Sutter last week. We were reminiscing about a lot of things, and we got to Jarome, and we got to 2004. And Daryl is, as we all know, not one that's given to many platitudes. But I have to tell you, Jarome, he couldn't stop talking about you. And then he connected the dots between his time here as coach and when he reunited you in LA. And he said, you know what, the guy didn't change. Nothing changed. Time changed, but Jarome didn't change. And I thought it was one of the greatest compliments from one of the great hockey men and one of the great coaches of our time. Finally, in this day and age, there's lots of talk about the new stars and the new age and the new millennials and all of that type of thing. But when we look back, we had our own bona fide superstar. And I suspect all of us at one time or another took him for granted a little bit, but he never took us for granted. He never took the fans for granted. He stood out. And that's hard to do for 20 years. Easy, you'll perk up a little bit for this, or you'll perk up a little bit for that. But I'm going to tell you, when you put your shoulder to the wheel in this business, as Jarome did for 20 years, it's a Herculean task. He did it with grace, he did it with dignity, and he did it with a fierceness that is incomparable. And for that, and I know we all do, owe him a great debt of gratitude. And the way that gratitude has displayed itself in the last while has been, there have been thousands, literally, thousands of words that have been extolled about Jarome. And none of them were repetitive. Everybody had a different story, and it was always a great story. So to your children, I know you love your dad and your mom, but we love him too. He's a very, very special person, and it means the world to us that he would come back into this building and spend that time with us. As for the future, we don't want to preempt ourselves on the honors that will follow. But based on today, I think I can safely tell you that we're thinking about a 41-game salute, Jarome. So we'll see you later this year, and God bless your heart for everything you've done for us. Thank you so much.